Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Pitch Talk.
We are fans of football dropping vlogs, videos and podcasts on the beautiful game.
Check out our videos on YouTube and Instagram's IGTV,
including special feature segments,
5 minutes with the G,
the straight shooting view,
coaching with JBK. We produce, record and edit video content
and audio on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Verbal, Podomatic,
Anchor,
Spotify
and other podcast platforms.
Join the Pitch Talk revolution on Twitter, Instagram,
Facebook
and www.pitch-talk.com.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I can see you now. I can see you now and then. I can see you now.
Pitch Talk
special feature segment.
Hey everybody, what is up? My name is SSLJA and welcome to another Pitch Talk special feature. Now, this special feature is, we're going to kind of delve into a little bit about Arsenal and their title challenge. Now, in the last couple of weeks, their title challenge, you could say, has stalled a touch, because in the last two games that they've had, they've raced into 2-0 leads inside the first half of games and surrendered those leads. They haven't lost either match against Liverpool and West Ham respectively, but it's the fact that they have surrendered 2-0 leads in the second halves of games. So it's one of them where questions are now being asked even more so about, can they go the distance? Can they win the title against the Man City side, who are really gathering momentum at the moment? Haaland is equaling records, and City really are kind of banging in goals for fun at the moment. So it is one of them ones. I think the Premier League are coming for me. But it is one of them ones where at this moment in time, Arsenal's mental prowess and their mental strength is really being tested in regards to the title race. But I am going to mostly lay out for this one because Coach JBK and Nathan Arsenal, after the West Ham result, we had a few interesting conversations via WhatsApp voice notes. So we're going to give you a peek behind the curtain and let you into those conversations. So have a listen to Nathan Arsenal and Coach JBK, along with myself as well, discussing the fact that Arsenal, well, they're 4 points clear of City, but Man City have a game in hand. So this is where it gets very, very interesting. So, with all that context in mind, I'm going to throw you over to Nathan Arsenal and JBK and their views.
Pitch Talk special feature segment.
So yeah, West Ham 2, Arsenal 2. Wow. What do you guys think about that result? I mean, what do you think also about the manner in which it happened? I mean, do you think it could be a momentum shifter, or do you think it's going to be just a blip? Because it definitely makes next week's game against Man City mean that bit more.
Yeah, I think it's complacency. I think, the first 10 minutes, cruise control, and then we dropped. You talk about intensity and the work rate. We just stopped playing, allowed West Ham back into the game. Really, really, really sloppy from us. Even when they went 2-2, there was no real urgency. We didn't really put anything on their goal. We were really, really slack. I don't know if, we were so laid back and casual in a way that Partey sort of tried to flick the ball around Rice, hit his stomach, and then they go and win the penalty. I don't know if last week at Anfield played into Arsenal's minds with the psychology of getting a goal back before half time and the crowd got up. But yeah, I think last week at Anfield was a point gained in the circumstance. Today's points dropped. I think in a sense of the title race, what I would say now is, if I'm being honest, is that we're going to have to win at City. We've lost momentum in dropping points in the last couple of games. City now, we're looking at it and say we're 4 points behind. We've got a game in hand, and Arsenal got to come to us. So we couldn't afford to lose at City anyway. But for Arsenal to make me feel confident that they're going to maybe even win this title, they're going to have to win at City. They're going to have to do that, and they're going to have to win at Newcastle as well. But when I consider what I saw today and the second half at Anfield, I'm not really confident. I have to accept that's not really confident. We've just, I say, good first halves in both these games, but then we've dropped off. I don't know if that's a mental thing, I don't know what it is, but it's not good enough, and it's come at a bad time to be dropping these points with City in the form that they are. The other thing I should mention is that we also look a bit more vulnerable with Rob Holding at the back. I think with Saliba at the back, we've had a consistent back four. Saliba being athletic, Saliba being quick, and you can see he's been targeted, particularly for players who are quite physical and quick. And Haaland will be licking his lips when we play City. But as said, we need to win that game at City, and the only way we're going to do that is we play a lot better than what we have in the second half of the last two games. But we need to get Saliba back. But yeah, there's real question marks over whether we can get the title now. I mean, we were in a good place, and then we've had two disappointing results. So we'll see what happens. It's not all over, but I'm not, in terms of my belief and confidence, I don't know.
Probably say points drop today based on caliber of opponent. I mean, is the second half drop off, is that issue a major concern or just a brief blip? I mean, yeah, changing the back four always destabilises things a bit, and sides will definitely attack any sort of perceived weakness, at least. I mean, a lot of teams have targeted Trent and gone 2v1 on him, so yeah.
Yeah, we dropped points again today. I think this is one of those situations where if the team was slightly older, then we would know what we need to do in order to keep leads, especially the last two. And I've seen it. The reason why I say that is I've seen it with my team, where we let a 2-0 lead slip and lost essentially on penalties essentially on a league tie, but there's League Cup tie. Sorry. So I've seen it, and that's what it is. It's a bit of, we've not been in this position before. What do we do with this? How do we maintain it? What is it that we need to do? Yes, we've had matches at this point and this juncture before. With this group of players, but they haven't been in this position in the league when they've had to do it. That's what I mean, and that's what he's got to work with now, is to try and keep their momentum going, to say, right, look, it's coming towards the end of the season. Your mindset might be that we're almost there, but until we are officially there, it isn't over. And that's what I think Arteta now needs to work on, in terms of mentality with the team and to see where they can go from here. You can't drop points against West Ham, who are struggling as well. That's not good enough. And the fact that it was a 2-0 lead for a second week in a row, that's something that he needs to address. So if he doesn't, then we'll see what happens with the... I'll still say this is an overachieving season, but at the same time, to make this the most incredible season, this needs to be wrapped up. And I agree with you, Nathan, in the sense of we need to go to Man City, we need to go to Newcastle, and we need to beat both of them. However, yes, we're missing Saliba, but our team isn't experienced enough in that situation where we're top of the table and knowing what to do with that, to go, yeah, we should be able to see this out. That's the issue. So let's see what happens. We've got what, 8 games left now, or 9 games left. See it out. See what happens. And again, the record for Man City in this situation doesn't read well for us. So we just have to see what happens.
Yeah, Jay, you hit the nail on the head. I think it does come down to experience. I mean, particularly when you think about we're the second youngest team in the league. Do you know what I mean? Our best players are 20 and 21. Do you know what I mean? So we're a really young side. We've not been in this position before. And at this time of the season, experience, innit? It's not about playing well, it's about getting the results, innit? Even if it means a scrappy 1-0, you dig it out. Do you know what I mean? And I haven't seen that in the last couple of games. You know, that's why, in a way, when you look at Anfield last week, if we'd scraped out and got the 2-1 and then won today, then you say, you know what, this Arsenal side, they really are the real deal. They've gone to Anfield in no circumstances, done X, Y, and Z. Same again today. This is where it counts, the run-in, where the pressure's on. And the other point I would make, when I go back to last season, I remember that we had top 4 in our hands. We were well on course to finish in the top 4, but we still had to play Spurs, didn't we? So we went to Spurs and we completely lost our momentum. And then we went to Newcastle and we lost that game as well. And then obviously we finished outside the top 4. So now you look at, fast forward a year, you know, we're in a title situation, but we play City in 10 days' time. Now, if they were to then go and beat us, who's our next away game after that? Newcastle again. So it seems like there's a potential pattern in that City, who are on a great run at the moment, they could potentially beat us, go in front of us potentially, and then we go to Newcastle with the loss of momentum, raucous crowd up there. But it's all learning, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? These players will be stronger for it. I think the disappointing thing is that for the season that we've had, we definitely deserve to win something. We've been outstanding all season. But as I said, it's always experience. I think me and Liam, I think the three of us, I think we've always talked about the importance of experience in any sector. That you can't buy experience, and this is where it counts. And City have been there and they've done it, and that's why I thought when one game a week would help, but then at the same time, City with their experience and the depth of their squad, they don't mind playing 3 games a week because they can rotate. They've got a multi-million-pound squad. Listen, if we finish second, we're still in the Champions League. I would have took that at the start of the season. So that's how we have to look at it.
I mean, looking at what Sheikh Mansour put on Twitter about brace yourselves Arsenal, and that picture of the guy as Arsenal and then the hurricane or tornado of Man City saying here it comes. It's like, yeah, I'm hoping that backfires, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point in regards to experience. I mean, steadying the ship and having cool heads around, knowing how to navigate choppy waters is critical. I mean, Arteta will know what Pepper's doing more than most as he worked with him. And it's been a weekend with some odd results, though. I mean, with that in mind, though, would you take 3/4 points from those 2 games you mentioned against City and Newcastle, or do you think Arsenal need to win both?
To show genuine title contendership, I think we need to take the points, and that's what it needs to be. That's all it needs to be as well. But that's the issue is against you guys, against Liverpool last week. We just needed a 3rd goal, and I've said this to my team in the past, where I said to them, we just need to get the next goal in the game, or we just need to get a 3rd goal in the game, or we just need to get a 2nd goal in the game. And they failed to get it. And it's just like, wow. The mentality of the team just kind of diminishes to the point where everybody either wants to score or they don't know what to do. And you need that one person that's just going to, or those 5 or 6 that are just going to go, you know what, don't need to go for another goal. Just sit for a bit. But when you see what the game is like beforehand, you're saying just get another goal and then settle. And really and truly, that's the issue. At the start of the season, you might get away with that, but now you should be just consolidating maybe 2 goals in a game, sitting off and leaving it at that. The fact that we've conceded 2 goals in the last, we basically scored 4 and conceded 4. And the way that, in the manner of the 2 games, we've taken a lead in those 2 games early on and then conceded in the second half. Both times with both games where we were 2-0 ahead. That's the difference between a team like Manchester City yesterday, where they were winning 3-0, and then started giving up opportunities and only lost and only won it by 2 goals. That's the difference. And they've got those players who will go, right, it's fine, chill, relax, ride this out, and then go again. And that's where we need to be. So if we're going to win the league, we need to take those points.
You can't buy experience, and City are ominous in this position, as we know as Liverpool supporters. It's like even when they're fighting from underneath, to coin a phrase from wrestling. So yeah, I mean, we know they're good in this position at gaining that momentum and going on runs. So you've heard from Nathan Arsenal, you've heard from Coach JBK. What do you think? Can Arsenal go the distance? Can they hang on? Will they lose more leads? Will they lose at the Etihad against Manchester City? If you're an Arsenal fan, are you confident going into that crunch game against Manchester City? Here's one of them. www.pitch-talk.com. Let us know your views. youtube.com/pitchtalk for all of our videos. At Pitch Talk on Twitter. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we are up to. Facebook.com/pitchtalk. Become a fan, become a member of the group. Join the footballing revolution we're working so hard to create. We're also on Reddit. We're at Pitch Talk on Reddit. We're at Pitch Talk on Instagram as well. We're on TikTok. We're Pitch Talk on there. Wherever you are is wherever we are as well. Also, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. Wherever you are wherever you pick up your podcast is where you can pick up the Pitch Talk podcast as well. I have been Straight Shooting LJA, and for another Pitch Talk special feature, here's hoping, fingers crossed, that Arsenal hold on. I'm not pretending to be unbiased as a Liverpool supporter in this. Take care, peeps, and we'll see you next time.
Join the Pitch Talk revolution.
Check out the official Pitch Talk website.
www.pitch-talk.com. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Pitch Talk.
We are fans of football, dropping vlogs, videos and podcasts on the beautiful game.
Check out our videos on YouTube and Instagram's IGTV,
Including special feature segments.
5 minutes with the G.
the Straight Shooting View,
Coaching with JBK. We produce, record and edit video content.
and
Audio on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Verbal, Podomatic,
Anchor.
Spotify.
and other podcast platforms.
Join the Pitch Talk revolution on Twitter, Instagram.
Facebook.
And www.pitch-talk.com.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I can see you now.